The following comments by Covington Electric Chairman Willie Smith and by CEO Ed Short are a part of the 2021 virtual and by mail annual members meeting.
Hello and welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of Covington Electric Cooperative. I'm Willie Smith, Chairman, Board of Trustees of Covington Electric, and we are pleased to give you the Cooperative Reports for 2020 at this time. You know, it was about this point in our last in-person meeting, which was April 2019, if you can believe that, and we were trying to see who the oldest members present were. And this is a fun part of our annual program where we recognize the elderly because of the support and their participation in the co-op. Most of these didn't have electricity years ago, so it's important for us to bring forth and show our appreciation to them. Well, COVID-19 hit in 2020, and we had to make drastic changes, like conducting the annual meeting, as we are doing this year by mail and electronic voting. Financial reports were delivered to you by the Alabama Living magazine with inserts for your information. In 2020, we saw people doing things that they were not accustomed to, like they were having to work from their homes. Meetings were being held by internet. School classes were being taught online. Social distancing and face masks became a way of life. It was indeed a new territory for all of us. We were able to conduct the 2020 annual meeting and trustee elections by mail only because you, the members, voted in 2019 to change the bylaws, allowing balloting for trustee elections to be done and through mail and electronic methods. This method facilitated the largest vote and survey return in co-op's history. It gave us over 20% response, the biggest response to a Covington Electric survey ever. This survey gave us some specific information from its members that Covington Electric should consider solar energy and Covington Electric should look at broadband in the future. And with COVID-19 shutdowns, school and businesses' needs, we were made aware that the lack of broadband infrastructure in the Covington service area. Our CEO will go into more details on this and other items later. This is our third year of presenting our financial reports to each member by publishing them in the Alabama Living magazine. Relative to finances, let me just mention this year, once again, the cooperative has retired capital credits, this year in the amount of $1.7 million. For all inactive accounts with credit amounts of $30 or more, checks were mailed to the address on record to these inactive accounts. For inactive accounts with less than $30, your account will continue to accrue until it reaches a balance of $30, and then check will be remitted to you. For active accounts, all capital credits were applied to active accounts, and this showed up in your billing on March of 2021. I trust that we will get beyond COVID-19 and can hold our customary in-person meeting in 2022. Then we can once again meet with friends, enjoy some good entertainment, and conduct business in person. Thank you for your continued support of your cooperative. At this point, our CEO and President, Mr. Ed Short, will give you his thoughts and more detail and information on the year 2020 relative to storm damage, COVID-19, realization of fiber middle mile, and preparation and building of fiber to the home network. Mr. Short.
Hello, and I repeat Chairman Smith's welcome to a second non-in-person annual meeting. For just a moment, I'd like to review some of the events that happened in the 2020 year. In February and March, COVID-19 came on the scene. We closed office lobbies. We sequestered part of the operations crew, trying to keep a safe crew, a healthy crew, to keep the lights on. We did this on a rotating basis. We separated office workspace, and we used as much work from home as we had capabilities to do. Some had broadband connections where they could do this, some did not. And this will be discussed and pointed out in more detail as we go further on. Of course, we did daily temperature checks. We did the mask wearing when we were in the offices. Anytime there was more than 2 people in one office, they had their mask on. We had more than 70% of Covington's employees that were away from their workstation because of COVID during the year. This represented some 7,000 plus man hours at a cost of over $240,000. COVID was not kind to all of us. And during the COVID period, we had weather events. Early in the year, we had tornadoes, straight line winds that did considerable damage to Covington's system to the tune of $1.4 million. Also in that time, our neighbors in Louisiana needed help, as well as other folks. We sent a crew to Louisiana for several days, and there was 5 cooperatives in the state of Alabama that we assisted due to hurricane damage. Our damage from hurricanes was relatively minor, but it was severe to some of our neighbors. We had neighbors from the Florida Panhandle and within the state that assisted us during our outages, so we felt obligated to assist others when they needed the help. These non-in-person annual meetings have become possible only because in 2019, you, the members, voted to update our bylaws. One of the big factors in that update was allowing for mail and electronic balloting. Also, the 2020 director vote and survey response was the largest number of members participating ever in Covington's history. Each member had an opportunity to vote because we mailed the ballot and the survey to every member of the cooperative. That survey gave us some direction as to what they felt, the members felt that Covington should do. One of those was in the area of providing solar power. Some 220 members said they would buy from a solar garden if Covington offered that. Well, the board offered to do that. We really need 100 panels subscribed, and we only have like 64 to date. So maybe if you're still interested in that, give us a call at the office, and we'll be glad to work with you. Over 85% of the respondents favored Covington being involved financially with a broadband high-speed internet offering. Well, in December of this past year, that came about. Covington's board members voted to build a fiber to the home network. Their primary objective in this effort is to see that every member of Covington Electric has high-speed broadband. Now, it could be provided by someone other than Covington, but their objective, I'll say again, is to see that every member of Covington Electric has access to high-speed internet. So, where does that leave us? We have some pretty exciting news, I'd like to introduce you to Buzz Broadband. That's the name of our subsidiary marketing logo that we will be bringing forth. Buzz Broadband is projected to begin connecting its first home services in the fall of this year. The projection, I say again, is for all CEC members to have access to broadband within 4 years. Phase 1 will begin probably June, July timeframe this year when the middle mile is complete, and we are pushing to speed up that build out of phase 1 and phase 2, so maybe it won't take a full 4 years to get this done. While some areas of Covington members have adequate broadband service, others do not. COVID-19 pandemic pointed out some very specific shortcomings in our service footprint. We had many students that could not satisfactorily attend classes virtually. We had businesses that could not operate. We had a few employees that could work from home because they did have the connectivity. We had many that could not work from home because they did not have this. So, business, virtual medical office visits to your doctor, all of these things are important. Economic development, commercial accounts. But I feel the driving force that convinced Covington's board members to take on this project was the fact that the students did not have adequate broadband to do their studies at home like they needed to. So this offering will come in three packages. You can have a 2 gigabit, a 1 gigabit, or 200 megabits. The 200 will be $59.95. The 1 gig, $79.95, and the 2 gig, $99.95. We'll also offer phone service, and some entertainment will be available. We look at this as a project not unlike Power South building a generating plant. It's not just for today, but it's for generations to come. Our membership voted for Covington to get in this business to provide the service that nobody else has done to date. And we understand why. Commercial companies have to have a return on investment. Covington will be building this for a service to its membership. One other fact that Chairman Smith mentioned was that we were again paying $1.7 million in capital credits this year. I went back and looked at the history. In the last 10 years, we have paid out over $23 million in capital credits to the members. So, all of that, we've had a somewhat exciting and trying year, and hopefully in 2022 we can have an in-person annual meeting again. But the 2020 financials and annual report, along with board election results and the prize winners, will be listed in the April issue of the Alabama Living magazine. If you have a question, give me a call. My office phone is 334-427-3500. My cell phone is 334-488-0585. Thank you.